Again, folks, Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for turning into LIBERIA Public Radio this evening, Friday afternoon. Thank you very much. Let's welcome all of you, of course, and we'll say thank you very much. Welcome to the LIBERIA Public Radio again. Tonight, subject matter is all engineering and the bad rules and mind fakes. How I intend to, if I were asked, or since I've offered my services so many times, if they have accepted those offers that I've made, how was I going to review? How was I going to bring up the solution? And I'm going to, I don't care whether they copy from me or not. I'm going to provide a solution here tonight, the way I see it. I'm not saying that's the right solution, but from an engineering perspective, I would like for any engineer out there to challenge what I'm going to be talking about here tonight. I will appreciate if you guys can come out and challenge me, not necessarily negatively challenging. I mean, maybe challenge is not the right word. If you can come up with your other alternative, let's correct alternative, another alternative to my suggestive solution here tonight, I will appreciate it. And if you can make it clear to us, I will appreciate it as well. And so we will do our best here tonight to show you once again. And if you're not able to follow the engineer, I'm not going to be speaking about a lot of big engineering terms here tonight. I'm not going to do that. I will try my best to put it in as simple as possible without me making it up. So, if, for example, if it is a right away, and I don't have any other word to say right away, except if I want to speak the Crown language, which I don't intend to do here. I will, don't mind me, I will, but not tonight. So that's what I'm talking about. So, but I don't intend to go into right away engineering, all that. No, that's not what I'm going to do here tonight. I want to welcome all of you. And please share this video. Share this video if you have the opportunity to do so. Please share it to many friends and families and the Liberians outside of Liberia. Please join us, and let's have a true conversation about this, because the situation back home and it's going to be alleviated very shortly, because the process of being resolved is not quite resolved, because the summer is coming up. And so our people will now be in a mindset of, oh, it's okay now to travel. And so they would think, well, it's okay now, forgetting to know that rainy season will come back again next year. And where are we? Where will we be then? And so that's one of the reasons why I want folks to understand that these things, yeah, you can have these kinds of resolution from time to time, but it's very important that we continue with it. We continue the conversation, and the intent here tonight, once again, it's not about criticizing. It's not about criticizing, far from it. So those who want to hear will hear. Those who don't want to hear, they will not hear. And okay. So safety, safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us here again together. We want to thank you for your mercy. Lord, the virus is not over. In fact, there's more variants that is coming out. My God, continue to protect us. You're the only vaccine that we have that is truly, truly safe and is workable, because you, once you put your hand on something, the work is done. And I'm asking you, my Lord, to continue to protect us. Continue to protect us. We ask that you protect us, because this thing is getting out of hand. My Lord Jesus, you know, with the Liberian diaspora, we have two tables. One is here in the diaspora, and the other table is back home, where we do provide whatever it is that is necessary for our brothers and sisters back home. We do, because you have given us the opportunity to come on this side, do whatever it is we can do to be able to help our brothers and sisters back home, at the same time helping our own family here as well. Lord Jesus, we ask you to bless the Republic of Liberia. Bless the leaders of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. My Lord Jesus, bless the host country, the United States of America. Let's keep going here. So I'm going to right away get into, but before I do that, like I said, I'm going to be suggesting some fixes here tonight. And most of the fixes that I'm going to be playing for you, video that I'm going to be playing for you, these are things that these are video you can access quickly on YouTube. I'm not making it up. I'm not bringing something that you will not be able to find, or something that I have in my own archive. No, these are public records. You can get them from YouTube. In fact, I also got them from YouTube. However, I know what they are, and I know what they do, and I know exactly when the people start explaining. So I will do my best here as well to try to explain to you what it is that we're trying to do here. But before that, let's go back into the Southeastern roles that I put together here a few times ago. It's so bad. It's so bad that the first time when I went on here, I felt so bad that I was, and I'm still suggesting, and not for the people to take in the street to demonstrate against the government whatsoever in a negative faction, but you have to petition the government of the Republic of Liberia. Those of us that from the Southeastern was suffering, and this thing is not going to end. It's not going to end. So even if there's a road that the people, they're not going to finish it. The road construction is not going to be done until the term of this presidency is over. So I'm saying to you that even if this president is not re-elected, we have to still present to the incoming government. If this president and his government were retained by the Liberian people, which is wonderful if that happened, we still have to present to them. We have to petition them, because we cannot continue to live like this year in, year after. Every time the rains were cut off. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Just some of the bad areas. This is not the entire section, but just some of the bad areas. It is bad. It is bad. Samson told. There you have it. So I'm going to go into a little bit of detail here now. I'm trying to be showing you some more stuff, but I'm going to be also going to be showing you the fix it. How I intend if I were to be ice or even not ice. I've offered. So, and I'm before I go on with my suggestion things. To those of you that are joining me, I say thank you very much. I say thank you. So I want to thank you very much. So a few months ago, about a month and 2 months and a half or so ago, I contacted the superintendent of Grand Engineer County because the road that I just showed you, the picture was coming up. And this place, as people were explaining to me, it's about maybe 10 miles or so from Town. Next door, Boca Town, right there. This particular area, I've walked in that area so many times. When I'm going to BI, I walk there. When I'm going to Bloomtown, I walk past that area. That's not too far. Remember when some time ago, this government, this administration built what they call some buildings in Pella Village. Now that area is close to Pella Village, and which is not too far from Town. So I know the area well. And so when I looked at it, people, and I'm over here as an engineer, and I'm here doing road design. Not only do I do road design here, but usually when I live in California. So those of you that have in the United States who've been watching news, when sometimes when the fire comes out, the fire destroy all of the trees in certain areas, and in most of the areas they have roads. And they're on the hillside. So when the fire destroy all the vegetation and what have you, so when it rains, the ground now is bare. So as a result, you have mudslide, and the mudslide will come and cover the road up. And then they will ask some people like me, we need to find a fix of this. And then I go out, after they do the survey, send me all the information, then I come up with a design and how to fix it. I've done many of those things in this area. I've done just the bigger one that I did here was like 560, I think it was 560 some more feet of retaining wall. Try to put a retaining wall so the land doesn't continue to slide onto the road. Because what was happening was, as a landslide, because there's nothing, no grass, nothing to stop the rain. When it rained, the rain hit the rocks, then the whole mud, the whole area, because when it rained, the rain go through the dirt. Then when it hit the rock, it has no other place to go. The rock water can't penetrate rock. So when it hit the rock, it has no other place to go. but then the soil that are on top of the rock they're already wet. So the rock is already like a no friction. So the soil slide because it's already shear. There's no binding now, so it slide. So how do we protect that? So we decided to put a retaining wall, a true retaining wall that will block the soil from the continuous slide onto the road. So I did all of that. And I was thinking to myself, this is a common fix, for goodness. I can do this. I don't have, let me say this again. I don't have the money to fix it. I don't have the equipment to fix it. I don't have the manpower to fix it. But I do have the technical know-how to fix this. And if you follow my technical know-how, this thing is easily fixed. And so I called the superintendent of Grand Jide County, Honorable Fai Kale. And when I called Kai Fale, I spoke with him through another friend who also a respectable young man, Chele Yurukla. And here's the reason. I'm not going to beat around the bush at this evening. Before that, a few months ago, during December 2020 election, I was supporting William and Honorable Kai Fale and even Chele Yurukla. They were supporting Zopeno. And you know, election back, they're contentious. I mean, they don't forgive very easily, especially if you're not on their side. Well, I got that. I got that. That's okay. So what I did was I told myself, if I contact the superintendent directly, knowing that Samson told from supporter of William contact, then they might see it differently. So I contacted their global chairman, Chele Yurukla, who was the global chairman for Zopeno movement, Chele Yurukla. I contacted him. And he immediately gravitated towards the idea. He says a good, excellent idea, because he himself was privileged to watch some of the pictures that are coming from back home. So anyhow, Chele Yurukla was able to contact the superintendent, connected us. And the superintendent seemed to be very much in receptive, let's put it, of the idea of me providing some technical know-how. The superintendent also even suggested to me that, look, we have the equipment here. We'll provide a few. We just need technical know-how. I say I have that, and I'm not going to charge them 5 cents. They're not going to pay me. I don't want money. How much they got to pay me? How much do people get to pay me? 5 cents. They ain't got to pay me. So why even bother myself to say pay me for what? If they were to agree on that, I would have transported myself from here to Zredru, to Grand Jide, total. I'm going to stay in total. I'm going to stay nowhere else. I stay in total. But anyhow, the intent was go there and then show that, because they told me, the superintendent, at that time he was in Monrovia. So when we talk, he said, I'm in Monrovia right now. I will be going back home. But he couldn't even drive because the road was so bad he has to fly. So he said, when I get back to Zredru, Chele Yurukla and myself will contact you. I said, fine. At that time, our brother Chele Yurukla was getting ready to get married. So I didn't rush myself. The time the superintendent said they were going to call, they didn't call me. That was fine. So I gave it a month or so, and I called Chele Yurukla, and I told him, look, I went, you know me, and he apologized for playing deaf ear. He said, I've been busy. I said, I understand, but at least for respect's sake, and you're a very respectful young man. So this is not your character. That's what I'm calling you, because because I've been around the Jide community I know most of these young people. I know who is disrespectful and who is respectful. I know who is corrupt and who is not. I know all of them. I know them. So nobody can bluff me. So I told Chele, I said, I know you. This is not your character. That's why I'm calling you. That's why I'm calling. So he said he was going to call the superintendent and they were going to get back with me. That was almost a month and a half ago again. So that's 2 months and a half. So obviously, they do not want my help. That's okay. That's okay. I don't mind that. So what I've decided to do, and what I'm going to do here tonight, is to show the fix. How do we fix something like this? So if they're listening, or even they can go back and replay my video, if they want to listen and do it, I don't care. I just want it to be fixed. What are you doing with taking my knowledge without me being involved? That's okay. That's what when you're teaching, what do you expect? You teach for somebody to expand on the knowledge you provide. It's not like a person they don't know what they're doing, but you say something to them, you teach them something that is new. And hopefully they will expand on that information that you provide for them so that they will do something better. So that's the intent here tonight. Okay. So let me just show you some other. This is not a video. This is just. You see here. You see this is the area here that I'm going to be talking about. The fixes here tonight, and the fixes here. The video that I'm going to be showing you, that I'm going to be sharing with you here tonight, are not video that were done specifically for this area, but the general ideas of how to fix unpaved gravel road. Now, this thing here didn't happen overnight. Let's recognize that. These conditions that Liberians, especially people from the Southeast, has been suffering on, didn't happen overnight. It takes years of neglect for these things to come to this kind of point, to get to this position. Neglect. And I'm not too sure who responsibility it is. I'm not about to share, to put certain blame on certain person. However, the leadership, whether it be in Monrovia or Zedru, they should take responsibility of it. Because if you are asked to lead, you're not just leading in a specific area, you're leading the entire population, including their welfare. And the road condition in Liberia is part of the welfare, it's part of the well-being of the Liberian people. The road connectivities in Liberia is much, much more important, as far as I'm concerned, than many other things. Because this road business we're talking about, those of us that are from the southeastern side, countryside, let's put it this way, we utilize these road, feeder road, whatever you want to call it, but this is a highway. We utilize these roads to go to school, our children to go to school. And when I was there growing up, I used the same road to go to school. I used the same road to go visit my grandma. I used the same road to go other places. I used the same road to go look for a woman. I'm just giving it to you yesterday. And in a particular area here, the picture on your left here that you're looking at, those green stuff over there, that's bamboo tree. I know this place. Right next to that, they have a bridge. So I know this area. Now, another interesting thing about this area that I know of, when they built this road before I was even born, there's another section about maybe 2 miles away from this particular spot. There's a section where they went over and took dirt from there to fill this area up, because this area was like a bowl. And I will show you that here. Not specifically this area, but I will show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So they use that area where they took the dirt. You call it in engineering term, you call it borrow pit. You borrow the soil from there to put it somewhere else. And hopefully that soil will be accepted in that area, because you can have soil failure too, of course, like anything else. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about here tonight. So how do you fix this kinds of bad condition? And so the intent was, because I'm not going to stay in Grand Gila for 1 year, try to go from one section, because they said there were so many areas that was bad. So my thing was, okay, show me the ridiculous areas, show me the worst of all, and I will show you how to fix it. And based on that information, you can go and apply it. If it fits and you like it, you can apply that knowledge to other areas that you have issue with in Grand Gila or Grand Gila County. That was the intent. So I want you to keep these pictures as I'm going to be going to the other section. I want you to keep these things in mind, because they're very important. Now, you see the picture on the left-hand side where there's 3 guys and then there's a truck behind there, and there's a bunch of cars lining up. Now, the guy over there, if you look on the side, you can see that from where that guy is standing to the top of the berm, or it's not a berm at this time, it's a hole at this time, to the top of the dirt, most likely 5 feet of bad soil. Now, if you know a little bit of a soil mechanic, and I'm not going to go into that here, but if you know a little bit of a soil mechanic, soil, just like any other thing, any other particle, they have to hold together. They have negative and positive. And whatever way that is together, whatever way they attract to each other, they hold themselves together. If that bond that is holding the soil together, if that bond is broken, you have soil failure because there's nothing else holding it. And that's about the simple way I can put it without me going to engineering, what have you here. And that's not what I want to do here tonight. Okay? So when you have a soil failure, you have shear or tear or whatever you want. Okay? So what caused these things? Over the years, you have weight of trucks that goes on these things. And these roads were built, compacted, but they're not there for lifetime. Any design of any road, they're giving a specific lifetime span or lifespan. Most roads on design paper, they go 20 years. They might go more than 20 years. But on the design paper, it's 20. TI will always be 20. You can't have TI 50, TI, they will say you're crazy. Okay? They do that because you have to have certain number of criteria involved. I don't want to go into that. Okay? So when you do that, when you design that, the lifespan of the road based on, first thing is this. You say, okay, you see, this is what giving you a hard time, LIBERIA. Think about it. Think about it. Just think about it for a little bit. Those of us that consider ourselves young people, I'm only 15 years old. But when I was growing up in the 19 the car they used to drive those days, they are not as heavy as the car today. The trucks that utilize this road, this facility, most of the time, when I was growing up, were logging trucks, logging company. The weight of those trucks was very damaging. Let me show you something else. Keep this thing in mind, and then I will come back to that. Keep this in mind, and I'll come back to that. I'm sorry if I'm boring you tonight with the engineering, whatever what we have to do here. But I want people to understand as I go into the fixes, so you will know exactly. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense. This makes sense. That's my intent here tonight. Okay, let me show you something else as soon as I get that on there. So why didn't I put that on here? Okay, so just bear with me. Bear with me. Let me show you. So where are we? Where is it? Okay, all right. I can't find that right now, but just give me a minute. Give me a minute, please. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'm gonna find it because I have all my stuff lined up and things that, but for some reason, you know, you come to this position and sometimes things don't work in the way they're supposed to be. Okay, let's go here. Henry Costa. No, not Henry Costa. Oh, did I say Henry Costa? Shoot, my goodness. I want somebody. I'm trying to provoke somebody right now. But let's see. Let's see. Is it under here? No. Okay. All right. So I'll find it. I'll find it. I'll find it. But what I'm trying to show you in real time is the weight that okay, just bear with me. Just bear with me. I will talk. I will continue to talk. I know you're gonna hear me. So just bear with me. Let me go to the dashboard itself and try to find this because it's important that I find it and put it up here for you because it's very, very important. This will make you to understand what I'm talking about, okay? Because I need for you to understand exactly what it is I'm talking about. Because from after I show you that, and then you will know, okay, this guy is serious. Okay, because you won't be able to understand it if I just jump into what I want to show you. Okay, and it's not going to be fair for you as well. All right, it's not going to be fair for you. So just bear with me. Let me see if I can find it, but I'm not too sure why I had it up here a few minutes ago, and now I don't. Now I don't. I don't know why, but let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. And if you look at my show now, I'm no longer behind my desk in the studio. I'm outside, but I'm still talking. So when I'm talking plenty like this here, I mean, I'm in trouble. I can't find what I'm looking for. And for some reason, I know it's here. I know it's here. It's the weight distribution of the roll. Before I can even get to it, it's the weight distribution of the roll of the car on any subject of the roll, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so just bear with me as I talk plenty here tonight. That's okay. I know you guys can stand that. Okay, so why is it? Okay, it's supposed to be in here. No. Okay, let's go back here. Folks, this is Samson told LeBron Public Radio, and it's not here either. So anyway, I guess you're not going to be able to see it tonight, and I'm going to be upset because immediately after the show, it will be up. And if you don't want to wait for me, you have somewhere else to go. That's okay. That's understandable. I will not blame anybody, but I want to do this thing here correctly, and so if it means for me to, because I have all of these things lined up before I open the show. Okay, I had it lined up. I'm not too sure why is it that I'm not able to find that right now. That I can't tell you. I can't tell you the reason. I can't tell you the reason, and I'm very stubborn myself. They think thing is stubborn. Somebody for in my show here tonight. I can't find my thing. No, on a very serious note, it's very important that I find this thing here. Okay, because okay, let's go back to that again. Oh my goodness, it's going to be bad for me here. Okay, all right, I can't find it, but I will show you. I think maybe I must have deleted it or something like that. I'm not too sure. CPP. It's not going to be on CPP. There's no way. Okay. All right. Let's get back. Let's get back to the show. Let's get back to the show. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Hey, my man. I'm not eating anything with crab. Eating crab with shit here to know. So okay. Oh, y'all can still see me, eh? Oh, okay. All right. So here's the thing here. Oh, man. Here's the stuff there that I want to show, but I couldn't find it. So I'm struggling trying to find that. But let me just show you what it is. Okay, and I'll just demonstrate that for me. Believe me, it's on here. I don't know why I can't find it. So you have trucks. Just imagine it. And that's what I wanted to show you. Okay. That's what I wanted to show you but I'm not finding that. Okay. You have trucks and you have 18 wheelers. Okay. But the point that I want to make is, you see, this is a tire, right? So as a tire goes on the road, the weight of that tire don't go straight down. The weight goes 13 feet down, then it distribute widely. And when it distribute widely, it affects the bottom soil. And that's why I wanted to show you. But let me go on. Let's go on. So here again, let's go back to this thing. So this issue of this tear here didn't happen overnight. The truck has been damaged in this road. These roads has been damaged from years to year, and they didn't have any kinds of maintenance process that will be able to help them to maintain whatever they have for them. They didn't do that. Okay, so the road was bad. I will show you one other thing here, and this is very important as I will be showing you another fix here as well. Okay, now let's go to this one. You see this video here, right? This video. Look at the picture on your left hand side. You see how flat this is, and the machine back there is greater. Now, these people back home, they have a tendency of trying to grade the area in the summertime. But look how flat this area is. So if it rains, the reason you do not do flat stuff. You don't go flat. You put the road like this. Okay? When you build the road, you build it like this. Just common sense. Common sense. You don't build it not like that, but like this. So that when it rains, the water, you see how the people, so when it rains, the water slide like this and go into the ditch. The water slide like this and go into the ditch. Now, let me put that picture back there again. Tell me if you see anything. This is Grand Road, folks. If you see any crown in the middle here, none. So when it rains, this thing becomes like a soup bowl. That's what you have on the right-hand side. You see what's happening on the right-hand side? That's all you have. Nothing else. Nothing else. Okay? So let's get that out of the way. Okay. Let me now show you another one, another video. All right. So here's another video I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to be showing the fixes. But before I show you the fixes, let me go through most of these things a little bit at a time. Okay. Here's another one here. Now, this one, the one I'm going to be putting up here. Now, look at this. Look at this. The picture on the left-hand side, folks. The picture on the left-hand side. The road is supposed to be 12-foot length. So 12, 24, maybe a shoulder 32 feet wide. But when they get to a spot that is bad, these drivers, they will take upon themselves and create another spot that they will say they're trying to get to where they're going quicker. Well, once they go on there, they pass. So the other truck that is stuck behind, he said, oh, the guy just went, let me go. Before you look, you have a huge area. And that's what happened on the right-hand side. Without realizing that they're creating more mess. Okay? So this is, what do you have? What do you need in this type of situation? Number one, each one of these counties must have a maintenance station. Maintenance station. Then you say, Mr. To, how are they going to get paid? I understand that. I understand that. That's why we have government. You're supposed to come up with these kinds of stuff. You can't just build a road and don't maintain it. Look at the road in the new road they just put up. Not even 2 years yet. The one in I call it Doe community. It's all messed up now. No maintenance, nothing. Nothing. They have nothing. They just build it and say, this is a community road. Use it. And what do the people do now? They start fixing cars. They start messing the road up. What happened to that money now? It's gone. This is what I'm talking about. No planning. No planning. When you put roads in place, you must have plan for future. Because you don't have money to come and take out the dirt and put it back in there. You don't have that kind of money. You must maintain the road. Okay? Now, I want you to take this. Let me put this back up there again. Okay? Let me take this out. Let me take this out and put this back up here again. Now, I want you to take into consideration what I'm showing you here. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you another subject now. This is strictly engineering, the fixes. But before I show you the fixes, I want to show you simple engineering principle. A simple, which applies to this type of work if you want to fix it. You must understand that simple roadway engineering principle. No question asked. Okay? So let me go get that. Let me go get that. Just bear with me. Keep your eyes on this here. Let me go get that. The first thing I'm going to get for you is a profile. Okay. All right. Now let me take this out. Okay. I'm going to keep it here still, but let's put this one up here. Okay. You see this? Okay. This is the guiding principle of all engineering roles. Any role that you have two types of alignment. You have vertical alignment, which is the one that below, and you have horizontal alignment, which is the one on top. The horizontal alignment is the line that you're driving on. Okay? It's the line you're driving on. Let me take this out so you can see my hand. This, the way I'm going like this, that's horizontal alignment. I'm driving on it. I'm going on it. So as I drive, there's a curve. The curve go like this. The curve go like this. Okay? That's horizontal alignment, which the curve go like this. It's horizontal. It's not up and down. Okay? It's flat. That's a horizontal alignment. Now, if you have that, and there's horizontal alignment, it goes straight, but it doesn't go straight all of the time. It's not flat all of the times. So what happened? Let's put this bike up there. The top one, it just go and then have a curve. Look at the bottom one. The bottom one, this is the one that take into account. This is the one that take into account your hill as you drive, even though you're supposed to be going like this, but don't you go over the hill and come down the hill, right? You go up the hill and come down the hill. You go up the hill and come down the hill. That is the vertical profile of the road. Okay? Now, I just want you to see that. Let me put that up there again. So if the green line, so you're going to be, for example, this area here, if I'm going to be fixing it, okay, the surveyor going to come and give me shots and give me elevation in this whole area, including the top of the bank. That I'm going to call it top of the bank now because it's way above everybody here, and give everything else. Then I will come out. You'll give me the horizontal line. Then I will come out, okay? Based on that, I'll come out and put this green line and say this is the present condition. This the green line to say this green line is what is happening right now. How do I fix it? Because the green line is not working for me. The green line is not working for the people. How do we fix it? So the red line on here on the profile is what's going to be the finished profile that I'm going to use to stabilize this area. Okay? But look at this. You're coming from on top of the hill. You're going down. You're going down. You're going down. You get here. Now you're going to pick up to go back up the hill. You see it? So logically, where you think I'm going to put my drainage here, where you think I'm going to concentrate all of the water in that area so it doesn't disturb me anymore, at the bottom of the hill. I will put my drainage at the bottom of the hill so that it will be easier, because all the water coming from up the hill, all the water coming from the other side of the hill, they're coming down they're all going to meet at the bottom of the hill. So it's easier for me to collect that water. Okay? Now, let's go back. Let me show this is one of the important principles of roadway design. You have to understand that. You have to understand that, because if you don't, you're not gonna do anything, because this is just simple survey. It has nothing to do with serious calculation, but it controls the serial calculation that's gonna come later. If anything, this thing controls. This is your controlling factor of the entire road. If you are unable to come up with the horizontal alignment and the vertical profile, you're able to do nothing. Okay, so let's go back here again. Let me show you again. Let's go back to Granular Road. You see this here? You see how the car they're coming from up there? They're coming from uphill. They're coming down. On the other side, going toward Town, there's another hill. So this used to be flat. So when the people did it, you remember I told you about the borrow pit earlier? So they came out and filled this area. They lifted the roll. Okay? They lifted the roll. So when they lifted the roll, because they used to be like they boom, then they go up. But they lifted the entire roll. So now, even though you come this way and go up, but it's not as severe as it used to be. So by you lifting the roll, you allow yourself room to put pipe. You allow yourself. I left this roll. Okay, let me put my pipe together now. That total pipe. Where you think? What kind of pipe you think I'm gonna come here? Okay, this is my roll. I'm going like this. As first, I was going like this, coming down here. So if I put a pipe there, the pipe even fit. Nothing to cover the pipe. So I have to lift this roll. I have to put more dirt. So as I come now, it's not as severe as possible. So now, you see the pipe here now. So I put the pipe here, the other inside of the pipe is here. And you can see, so the water going in here this way, the water going here and coming out this way. But I'm able to cover it up and then smooth it out. Does it make sense? Okay. I want you to pay attention to it because this is something that and I'll show you here again, right here again. See, right where the green now is at the bottom of the red. Okay, so that area is a fill because the green is the existing condition. And I'm putting the red, that means I'm putting something, I'm lifting it up. I got to fill that up. So when the red is underneath the green, I got to cut. When the red is above the green, I got to fill. So it just go in like a snake. So anytime the green, when you see my green underneath the red, I got to fill. When the red is underneath the green, because the green is an existing condition. So if I put the red underneath, I have to cut. But that process comes into calculations. You don't just put it in there because you want to. You have to follow engineering guidelines set by who? ASHTO, which is the body of engineering all over the world. They've tested these things and they've done their research, and then they come up with policy to say they're not holding you to it. As an engineer, they're not holding you to it. But if you don't follow this principle that is set, and anything happen to you anything happen to that road, they take you to court. The first thing the lawyer gonna did you follow ASHTO? And if you say no, if you say yes, then they say what part of ASHTO did you follow? And each of the chapters that have to deal with it, the chapter, the sub-chapter, all of those things you have to make sure all of them. How did you come up with a grade? What is the grade difference? Because you're going down 2%, and you're coming back up 2%, another 3%. So what is the grade difference? And is that grade different acceptable to ASHTO? So you see, you don't just put the thing on there. And these are kinds of these were the expertise that I was going to provide to my brothers and sisters. I wasn't just going to sit down and say this is the other. No. I was going to do it by the book. Okay. Now let's go on. You will see some stuff here a few minutes from now. Let's go on. Okay. So I'm going to now show you the quick people una. They want to just show you that the total way. They want to just show you that the total way. They say the way is supposed to be in total. When you finish eating heavy kesali, then you say you know something, you know nothing. Okay? This is the total way. But no, on a very serious note, the video that I'm going to be showing you, let me see if that's what it is. The video that I'm going to be showing you, it's a video put together by a group of engineers, and this person here is a PhD in civil engineering, and he does road. Now look at this thing that I just explained to you. First of all, let's look at this other row here. Look at this row here. Okay. Look at this row. This is a real row. You see what happened here? You go down, and then you go uphill, then you go down, then you go. You see, this is real row. But where do you think these people need to put their pipe or their cover or they are bridge, whatever. You don't need bridge here. But most likely, you see the bottom of that hill, the very bottom, all the water coming from our side now, they go down there. If you don't manage the water on the road, you're going to have Granada Road bad like this. You have to manage the water on the road, nothing else. There's nothing else. Nothing else. So this is one of them. Okay? Let me show you another one. Let me show you another one. So if you're able to manage the water on the road, okay, you will do good. You will do good. Okay, now let me show you this one here. Okay, this is a video. I'm going to play the video. The guy will be explaining, but I want you to watch the certain point he made on the drawing itself, and he will tell you exactly what he's talking about. Listen to it, and then remember what I just told you. What I just told you, the intent is with this one is about profile, but the intent is you have a profile, you have an upgrade, you have a downgrade, then you have another upgrade. So here now it's just, what do we have? Sag, isn't it? When you say somebody, you're like, when I'm hungry, then my stomach sag. When I'm full, then my stomach go to crust. I'm so enjoying myself. But let's show this video. Let's show this video. Samson to LeBron Public Radio.
Let's consider this short section of a residential street with one vertical curve and one horizontal curve. There's a slight horizontal curve to the left between the triangle and the star. The triangle in the foreground of the picture has an elevation of 414 feet. The circle at the midpoint of the roadway has an elevation of 390 feet, and the star at the end of the section has an elevation of 409 feet. These elevations demonstrate the presence of a sag vertical curve between the beginning and end of the section, which has a downhill grade as the driver leaves from the triangle, a flat grade near the circle, and an uphill grade when approaching the star. Now let's take a look at the horizontal and vertical components separately. The overhead aerial view of the roadway is shown on the left, and the simplified roadway alignment is shown on the right, with the points corresponding to the locations we discussed in the street level view. Each end of the roadway is a tangent, and they are connected with a horizontal curve. The vertical alignment is shown in profile view, from the perspective of someone standing alongside of the roadway and perpendicular to the roadway. As illustrated with the street level picture, the triangle has an elevation of 414 feet, the circle has an elevation of 390 feet, and the star has an elevation of 409 feet. This profile view shows a sag vertical curve between the beginning and the end of the section, which has a downhill grade as the driver leaves the triangle, a flat grade near the circle, and an uphill grade when approaching the star. This example shows three perspectives: a street level view in the top portion of the screen, the horizontal alignment in the bottom left, and the vertical alignment in the bottom right. We see an example of a roadway with no complex horizontal alignment. This section is completely straight in the horizontal plane. However, we see a curve in the vertical plane. As the vehicles move along this section of roadway, the driver will not be required to make any turns to the left or right, but the vehicle will move vertically along this section by traveling downhill at the beginning and uphill at the end. Similar to the previous example, this example shows the same three perspectives. We see an example of a roadway with very complex horizontal alignment, but relatively simple alignment in the vertical plane. A driver on this section of roadway will travel downhill at a relatively constant grade in the vertical perspective, while experiencing a series of horizontal curves which will require significant left and right steering to remain on the roadway.
So this is just what I'm showing you here, just to show you the guy. You saw what he did over there. It's residential street with pavement, everything, but the same principle, the guiding principle of design of roadway. Profile is very important because it controls your water. And the controlling of water, that's what they don't do in Liberia. That's why it's not happening. And you have this thing. What you think happened here? Where on Grand Gida Road, the only thing you're going to tell me on Grand Gida Road, when you're climbing hill, you have no traction. But there's no mud. You don't have traction, but you will not find climbing hill having this kinds of condition. The only place you're going to find people digging like this is not when you're climbing the hill. It's when you're at the bottom of the hill where the water sits and it soaks all the soil up. This is what you have. It's not when you're climbing hill. Okay, so I just show you that. All right. Let me show you one other engineering principle before I can show you other video. Okay, I want you to pay attention to this. It's very important. It's very. I know you might not understand it, but one of the things that I'm trying to do here tonight as well is that as you're driving from this point on, as you're driving, you will pay attention to these things. You will pay attention to, okay, maybe that was something. Okay, maybe. I hope you will do that. Look at this other one here. You see this? I maybe you can't see it, but it's another engineering. This is all vertical curve, by the way. But it's the crest on top of the hill. So this is what they don't have on Ralphie Highway. This is some of the big problems they have on Ralphie Highway. Now, if you're putting the road on, because when they built Ralphie highways those days, what was the speed of those cars that was being produced at the time? The maximum they can go on, maybe about 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. And people don't do those kinds of. So it's easier to have a hill like they have on Tower Hill, because you're going to take your time to. But now you have cars that go what? In 60 seconds, 120, 100 something. So, and you still, this is what I'm saying. You cannot continue to have the same condition you have when Tommy Bona died, and you expect to be saved today. It's just that God been with us. So there's other engineering principle here. They're telling you, the guy that's sitting in this car, his eyesight, the straight line. Man, well, I want to show myself as I say, as you're driving, you're sitting in your car. The eyesight is a straight line. As you're going on top of the hill, right? You're driving on top, and watch and see. There is no way, especially here in the United States, you will not drive going up the hill, and then you try to do like that to look where on the other side. Your eyesight will always be, you will be able to see ahead of you. The distance is set for you. You will always be able to see. They got a sight distance. If you don't have a sight distance, you're driving, that's when you start going like this. I wonder what coming behind. Because the hill is high. You can't see it. Your eye just hitting on the top on the hill. And you're still climbing. You see what I'm saying? So you will not find that. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. So this is the hill. So they cut it down. So your eyesight, they say, okay, at certain feet, they have that in a book based on the curve, on the vertical curve that you're gonna have. Based on that, then they tell you if you're going to use this vertical curve for this area, this is the distance that you need to have an object certain feet from the car, from the driver's side. He should be able to see the object at all times until he finished climbing the hill. Until he finished climbing, he shouldn't be looking for the object. Okay, so they give you the height of the car, they give you the height of the object. They're all in the book. And then you just a plug and chug. That's it. No big deal. But you must be able to apply that. Okay? That's just another engineering principle I want you to take with you here this evening. Samson told LeBron Public Radio folks, I'm just here. I'm just here trying to show something here. Now, let's go now and see if I can show you the true fixes that I have in mind based on the video that I've done some research on. Okay. The first one is how to regrade the condition we have in Liberia. Okay. The condition we have on those roads. Okay. How to regrade them. Now, you're going to see the video. The video is no different. You will say, well, the America, yeah, the bike road, but it's no big different from that of Liberia. And if whatever they're going to show you here, if you apply those things, you're not going to be able to have those kinds of problems. Okay? I will show you another video, and you tell me, say, if this is not something between Ganta and Secretary. This is America. What I'm going to be showing you, the America. But it's just like the issue with between Secretary and Ganta. But let's watch this one first. Okay, Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio.
Earth and gravel roads are a very important part of the highway network. These roads are frequently the only connections for rural populations and the means of getting farm products to market. Earth and gravel roads are not as strong as asphalt roads. They must be maintained regularly because bad weather and heavy traffic quickly cause surface deterioration. A road may have a rough surface, but still has a crown or center higher than the edges, which allows water to drain. This type of road will only need to have the surface smoothed. This operation is called smoothing. However, if the road surface is very rough and water does not drain properly because the crown is lost, but sufficient surface material remains on the road, the crown must be restored by moving the surface material from the edges toward the center of the road. This operation is called reshaping. If a gravel road has lost most of the granular material, neither smoothing nor reshaping will restore the road to a good condition. It must be re-gravelled to re-establish the wearing course.
You heard that, right? This is the regrading. Now, this is simple stuff. You saw that steak that in our man hand? You want to tell me we can't get steak like that in Grand Gila County? Did you see any kinds of difficulty in our man hand? So the steak, what they do is, it's a measuring stick. So they take the steak like this. This is the roll. They've already know exactly, like on asphalt roll here in the United States, it's 2% from the crown to the shoulder, 2%. From the shoulder to the edge of shoulder is 5%. Okay. So you can take that stick and you have your measurement. You don't need a fancy stuff to tell you a percent gray and all that kind of no. You take that stick. Think about it. This is a stick. And if I want to do this, okay, this is the flat surface. I'm coming from here to this. But okay, I'll use this as a what's example. So if I'm going to do this and I know what the grade is supposed to be here, I will cut a piece of steak like this and hang it on that piece of steak they have. So when I put it down, if that steak, if that steak is not like this and it's going like that, then I know it's not right. Simple stuff. But you saw what that guy did. That's just to show you. Well, I got more to show you. Just stay with me tonight. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Okay. Let me show you. Let me bring in another one. This one is going to tell you a little bit more now. Okay. This is going to tell you, because this is the issue we have with the Grand Gila Road. Okay. This is the issue we have with the Grand Gila Road. And so I thought the first one is a smoothing process. But this one that I'm going to be showing you. It's not smoothing process. It's resurfacing, regrading, taking all that dirt out of there, putting in new one. That's the idea. Watch this video, folks. Samson Told LIBERIA Public Radio. And everything on here that I'm showing you, you can get them from YouTube. Okay, you don't need Samson Told to say, oh, do this. No. Okay, let me show you this video and let's watch it together. Samson Told LIBERIA Public Radio.
Reshaping is performed when the proper crown has been lost. Also, there may be corrugations and ruts in the road surface, causing traffic to proceed very slowly over the rough surface. Schedule all ditches and culverts to be cleaned if necessary.
Okay, just bear with me. He mentioned two words here. He said the crown has been lost. So this is the crown of the road. And tell me if this is not Grand Judea or Liberia Road. This used to be the crown. 2% or whatever percent they have here. Car going this way, car, and this is just ridiculous. But car going this way, car coming. And in the middle is the crown. So if the crown in the middle is lost, you have this flat road, water going nowhere. And he also stated something. He stated corrugated. And those, think about it, those of us that are from the countryside, when you're driving those days, even now when you're driving in the car driving and go do, as it move on a rough edge, it's corrugated because the road, you're like the fengu style, you can put together, you see that stuff that corrugated. So that's why he's saying the road has been corrugated because the water keep going here and leave this other one. Go here and leave this other one. Go here and leave this other one. So as a result, you have a bunch of road here, dish here, road there, dish here. And so when your car driving on it, it go do. Because if you were to drive like maybe 4 miles an hour, you'll go do. But because you're moving with speed, 30 miles an hour, so go, but you can feel it. You can see the driver hand shaking like that. That's what he's talking about. Let's play it.
During the reshaping operation. Good drainage is essential for a long-lasting repair. For reshaping, you will also need a rubber-tired roller, in addition to the motor grader and the water truck. You can use a steel-wheeled roller if the rubber-tired roller is not available. You will use a camber board to check for the cross slope. Be sure to take shovels, rakes, and wheelbarrows to remove large rocks and other unsuitable material from the road surface. Let us quickly look at the basic steps for reshaping. Step 1. Place the traffic signs. Step 2. Determine and mark the limits for reshaping. Step 3. Blade the surface to form a windrow. Step 4. Spread.
I want you because and I don't expect you to understand all of this thing, but if they call specific engineering term that is so important, I want you to grab that. I will try to say when they say windrow. So the grader, they set the grader to a certain degree, maybe 45 degree. And as a grade, they want the grade, the dirt from the shoulder to come in the middle, so you can make a crown. But the dirt that is coming from the shoulder and make and in the middle, it hasn't made into crown yet. So they call it windrow, and you will hear that term a lot. It's the dirt that comes out of the blade of the grader. It comes in the middle. It's a windrow. I want you to know that. Let's go ahead.
Spread the windrow. Step 5. Check the cross slope. Step 6. Compact the surface. Step 7. Remove the traffic signs. To reshape the surface, start from the outside edge. If the road surface is very hard, use the scarifier to break it up. Be sure to remove large rocks and clay lumps.
Okay, this one is very interesting. Folks, I'm not doing this to put anybody down, but this one is very interesting. I have some picture here that comes from when I say something, people think I'm just opening my big mouth. You heard what the man said? You got to take wheelbarrow behind the truck. What you need a wheelbarrow for? He wants you to pick up the rocks that don't belong there. In Liberia, what do they do when they bring the dirt? What do they do in Liberia? They put the dirt down. And many of you have seen it. They put the dirt down. Rock or no rock. They put it down. And the reason you remove the boulder, the reason you remove the bigger rock, so the smaller rock can form particle with the soil going in between. So when it rains, the water, because the soil going to drop down. And then you have all the rocks sticking up. So when the finish fixing your road, as soon as it rains, the politician, when they finish fixing the road, as soon as it rains, and when you start driving, then you go like that because you don't want to hit the big rock that's showing up now. The rock that you were not seeing when they put all dirt on. That's common sense. Common sense. Because you cannot compact the rock unless you bust it up. So since you cannot compact the rock should not be part of the road unless you're going to make it into a base. Unless it's going to be part at the bottom of everything else. But you cannot bring the rock to be the finished grade of the products. It don't work. So this guy is saying, look, take wheelbarrow with you. So go behind the truck and pick out a big rock. And in fact, not just the big rock. The clay, that chunk, that clay that is not being able to breaking down, you're not able to break that down. You take it out of there because it's going to disturb your soil and it's going to weaken your product by the time you're done. But what did I do? I was in Liberia, okay? I was in Liberia. So they decided to do Dupo Row. Dupo Row at the end of Dupo Row, when you're going to how do you call it? When you're going to Dupo Row like this, where it bend, and it got another straight road that goes straight, that take you straight to red light off of Dupo Row, almost to the end. As soon as you pass that, there's a hospital. Is that Cooper Hospital? Some kind of hospital, clinic, Cooper Clinic, some kind of clinic in that area. But as soon as you pass it, you make a curve. You continue with Dupo Road. But then there's another split that goes straight to red light. They decide to put dirt on there. Beautiful. But then I thought to myself, nah, these people, they're not going to leave the rock here. They're just doing it. They'll come back later on, use grader, remove those rocks. They never did. 2 days later, as we were driving on that road, we started looking for a nicer place to go. You're going like this because you don't want to hit the rock because all the rock that's standing up because the soil have sunk, the soil have gone down, the soil have settled. The rock remain there. What do you think when the rock was settled to go where? To go where? Go to Totan? You know, I see Totan rock settle before. And you hear what the people say, what water will carry rock? Man, I beg you, man. Let's play it. Let's play it.
Step 5. Check the cross slope. Hard. Use the scarifier to break it up. Be sure to remove large rocks and clay lumps. Step 5. Check the cross slope. Use a camber board. The camber board measures the fall of the road surface from the center line to the edge. This is called the cross slope of the road. The camber board must have the same cross slope that you want for your road. For a 4% cross slope, the road surface from the center line to the edge must drop 4 centimeters for each meter. To check the cross slope on a straight section of road, place the camber board straight across the road with its shorter end toward the center line and check the bubble. If the cross slope is correct, The bubble should be centered in the camber board indicator. Repeat this check approximately every 30 meters. The proper crown should look like this. On a curved section of road, the cross slope should remain the same across the entire width of the road surface. No crown should be evident. And the cross slope should look like this.
Okay, let me show you that area again. I will play that again. Now, what's happening is this, and I want you to think about it. Those of you that lives in America, when I went to LIBERIA, I don't see any of that. You have a curve. Think about it. Think about it. And those of you that are in school, pure physics, centrifugal force. As you take, for example, if you take a rock and tie the rope on that rock, as you swing it above your head, and when you let go of the rope, the position at the position where the rock is, when you let go of the rope, that's the rope, that's the position, and that's the route the rock gonna take. It's not gonna go straight because that's where the force taking it to be. But as long you keep holding that rope, it will continue to go in circle. You let go of the rope, whether it's here, it will go that way. If it's here, it go this way. Okay, so in roadway design, the good engineers, they think the same way. Think about it. You're driving, and you're driving on a crown, but then the road started bending curve. Now you see here. Now, if you're driving and you're driving on going on the road like this, why will you all now want to have a curve? I mean, crown. You don't need crown anymore. So as you go, this part will remain because that's where the curve's going. This part of the crown now, because before it's 2%, 2% road, 2% crown, okay, from the middle. But as you're driving, going this way, then this part start lifting up. So it all smooth out. And you know what that is? It's called super elevation. Super elevation. So when you're driving, next time you're driving, usually you will find good super elevation on your off ramp and on ramp. As you get off the road, you will find super, and especially when you're doing a loop. Okay, when you're doing a loop in a circle, you will find your super will be like this. Any of you that drive on this highway, when you get off the highway or when you're getting up the highway going up and there's a curve, the curve is not flat, like this, or it go like this, then it start lifting up. And you will find yourself driving like this. But they will make it so that you, the driver, you will always be comfortable. You're not going to be afraid. And they have these mathematical function that you apply that will give you that result. And that's not what I'm asking people in Grand Union to do. No. That's not that. I'm just saying this. But that's another principle. Now watch this here. Look at this as what I just told you. Look at this here. Okay. Let's go back to it. Let's go back to this guy. Okay. Now
on a curved section of road,
hold on.
The cross check approximately every 30 meters.
Okay. Now let's go.
The proper.
Okay. You see here. That's the crown section. In the middle, you see how the middle higher than both sides. We got the water coming from the middle, got to go to the ditch. The water coming from the middle on the left, it go to the ditch. On the right, it go to the ditch. Now, as you pick up, they will show you everything as I'm explaining to you. As you pick up and getting into this curve, whatever area your curve is bending, that left side going to lift along with the curve. You not see airplane turning like that and one wing stay down, and when it turn, all the wing, everything go up the same way. It's the same principle. So it's nothing big. Let's go ahead. Let's play it.
Crown should look like this. On a curved section of road, the cross slope should remain the same across the entire width of the road surface. No crown should be evident. And the cross slope should look like this. Make the transitions between the curved and straight sections of the road gradual to look like this. If the bubble straight sections of the road gradual.
Okay. Okay. So you see the first one, it's a crown. The second one, because you're getting into the curve now, you see the left side started lifting up. The right remain at the bottom. The right remains. So it goes. The third one, you're in full super because the left already lift up. It's in line with the entire stuff. Your real, that's a super. Now, as soon as you pass the full super, then it start dropping back. The reverse of that, it will start dropping back to the normal 2%, 2%. And the 2% can only come about. Let me show my face on this one here. No wonder why everybody want me to finish our project. I'm too darn good, man. To be honest with you, I'm too good. I'm too good. I'm not bluffing, but I'm come to think about it. I've been out of school now, going to almost 70 years, and I still remember these little principles. I'm good, man. Shit, I'm good. Did I say that? But I'm good. I'm good. To be honest with you, no, seriously. So the idea here is this. The idea here is this. The 2% on the crown. And as you're leaving the crown, getting into, there's a transition period. And that transition period is also in the book. You can't miss it. So let's go ahead. It's not about me. I don't want to praise myself too. But no, just to think about it. I was just thinking about it, because we have these kinds, sometimes at work, people will come to me, how do you do this? And then I'm thinking of that. But to sit down here and run my mouth, blah, 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 and still be able to explain that's amazing. Anyway, let's go on.
Look like this. If the bubble is not centered, the cross slope is too steep or too flat. To correct the cross slope, blade and spread the material again. The proper cross slope is very important for good drainage. Step 6.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? The proper cross slope is important for good drainage. That's it. In all of the road work business we do in a place here, all of the road work you will find in the entire world, they do it to make sure no water stay on the road. Why? Water and the car tire, they don't mix. Have you heard of hydroplane before? If the water stay on the road, a little inch, car can slide and fly over and go somewhere else. So you want the water to get on the road, but you want the water to get out quickly. And that's why when you look at your tires, you will those groove stuff that aren't designed, they're not making the tire look pretty. They're doing it so water can go through those grooves while it's still in contact with the asphalt, in contact with the concrete. But the groove in between, as they touch the real place touch the concrete, the water pass between the groove and go out. Because other than that, you will be flat, you will be in the air. Okay? So that's the reason. You must design, and if you have a road, make sure you maintain it. If you have a road, make sure the water is not mixed with anything else. The water must be controlled. The water on your road must be controlled. If you don't control your water, you have problems. Because first thing, water don't go uphill. And so you yourself as a designer, it's okay, I'm putting my water here. And you tell the water, where something to put you, that where you're going to be. You can't go nowhere else. So in this country, they have a lot of systems to control the water. The one that I just showed you at the super elevation. They can have super elevation that go downhill as well. But you have to control the water. So what do they do? It's very simple. It's very simple. And these are kinds of stuff we don't do back home. Okay, think about it. Hold on, let me drink small water. They want to part tonight. That easy thing. That easy thing. That politics I talk about here. That serious matter, life and death. Seriously. Yeah. Thank you. Benson Hospital. The one on Dupont Road I'm talking about, called Benson Hospital. As soon as you pass the Benson Hospital, there's a road that goes straight. Then there's another one that go in the curve. I'm not too sure what they have over there. What is a roundabout? I'm not too sure what kind of configuration stuff they have, but I'm not going to question it. That's whatever they do over there. That's fine with me. I don't care. But anyhow, that's Benson. People, yeah. Thank you guys, Thomas and Eba. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Benson Hospital. But anyway, so if you here in this country, sometimes, think about it. Sometimes if you have a flat tire and you have to pull outside on the shoulder in this country, look around and see. You will find how these roads are constructed without you even going deep. The road is like this. From the center to the edge, ETW, edge of travel way, ETW, edge of travel way. They have two types of edge. From the center, they have edge of travel way. From the center, they have edge of pavement. That means that's where the pavement stops. So you have ETW from here to the ETW. If it's one way, something coming, you have from the center line now. The center line most likely is going to be 6 inches. That yellow line is going to be 6 inches now. Before it used to be 4 inches. They take it up now to 6 inches. So the yellow line in the middle is 6 inches. So from that center, from the middle to the edge of travelway is 12 feet. Even though your car itself is about what? From the tip of the car to the other tip of the car, most likely 7 something, not even that much. 6, 7, if it's a big truck and things like maybe 9 feet or so. Okay. And in Ashton book, they tell you how wide these trucks are, how wide your car and so all of those things. But he gives you more room. Okay. So from the 12-foot in, they give you shoulder, and your shoulder from the ETW to the end of shoulder, it can either be no shoulder, which is 0 from ETW, straight pavement, end of pavement at the same time. You can do that, but you have to put burn. You're not just going to drop it down, poof, and call it like that. No. You're going to put burn. Just some sort of a way so that when a guy get off the road, accident, he's sleeping at night, he'll be able to come back on it. The reason why we do this road design is because of you, the driver. We want you to be safe. We want you to be safe. And so we take these classes. We go up to the end degree just so that, number one, you must be comfortable driving on my road. And you must be safe driving on my road. I don't want you to drive on my road and something happened to you. It's a bad feeling as an engineer. Not only a bad feeling, you can get in some serious trouble if you don't do it well. So as you're doing design, you got your computer here doing the design. Then on the other side, you have the rule book. As you pull line here, okay, what did they say? Then you match. Make sure you're following the people rule. That not total. You're not doing anything in total. You say, oh, that's my part, that's my grandpa town. What do people do to me? No. It ain't happening like that. You have to follow their rules that is set. But let's go back. So the issue here is water. Water. But the most important thing of all that I've been saying all night is maintenance. Any county in Liberia, watch and see, any county in Liberia that will take maintenance of their road that is in that county, that will take it serious, their economy will always be at the top. Because if you have good roads, If you have good roads, you will have means of going to the market. You will have means of transporting one goods from one point to another point. If you don't have good roads, you can be like Lofa County, the food basket of Liberia. You're not going anywhere. Because how are you going to take your food to the market? You can only take things that you and your family can carry over your head or in a wheelbarrow. And how much money you think you're going to make? And this is why it's important for road connectivity in Liberia. It's very important. But our brothers and sisters, I'm not too sure why is it the way it is. I don't know whether they have it clearly or they just don't care. I don't know. And I'm not going to fault anybody. I'm just making this point. So the people in the southeastern end of Liberia, every year they cut off. And they have representatives. Here's the issue here, but I'll come back to that. Let me finish.
Again. The proper cross slope is very important for good drainage. Step 6. Compact the surface. Before compacting, quickly test the correct moisture content of the material. Squeeze a sample in your hand. If it crumbles, it is too dry. Water must then be added to increase the moisture content. If the sample remains in a ball after you squeeze, the material has the proper moisture. This will help obtain good compaction. If the sample runs out between your fingers when you squeeze, it is too wet. It must be allowed to dry before compaction.
Okay, so those are the videos that I have for you tonight. Now I'm going to talk about the true fix. Let's go back to our original video of our original whatchamacallit. Here again, the fix that I just showed you. But before the real fix that I have in mind for this, I just show you the processes involved, the equipment you need to use, and how do you apply those equipment effectively so that you will not waste the people money or waste the people time. First, you must recognize this area as being bad. How big is this bad area? You measure. Okay. What is the condition? And what am I trying to achieve? In this situation, we know the soil here cannot support the weight of a truck, cannot support the weight of any car. So the soil is bad. We move it. We move the soil completely. Go to the native soil, which then become our base. Let me show my face so you can see it. Okay. We remove the soil and go to the base. Once you get to the base, I want to build it up now. I want to build it up. Then the intent and the reason why I want to build this thing from this point to this point so that I will be able to provide proper drainage. But as I'm building this thing, I'm not building it flat. Knowing fully well that the top of it going to be crowned. I'm going to have to start crowning it from the base. So that because if I have it flat here and I try to crown it up, I'm going to fill more in between. It costs money. Because every time you go bring the dirt from one section to another, that truck, that manpower, you got front end loader over there loading the dirt in the truck. And in this area, if I'm there, I will make sure the safety, you know called palm butter before, right? I'm talking about palm butter you can buy in the coffee in America. I mean, palm butter, but after you finish being, then you safety it, right? Same thing with soil. Because you have to sift the soil so you can have the proper mix of coal sand, rocks, pea gravels to be specific. And then if it need be, you move up a little bit to Meta B type rock, which you give you sizes. And then you mix those up. When you mix the sand, the coarse sand, and the gravel together, if you mix them together, yes, what's going to happen to you? And think about it. I'm talking about the big sand. I mean, just dirt. But the rocks are like this, right? So if you put and the rocks are not coming, they're not from Toad Town. West Samson would sit down and fire all of them so they all can have even a quarter or even outlet. So some of the rock, they load them my face, long like this. Some of the rock, they load them my hair, long like that. So when you put them together, they got a hole in between because they're not all smooth. So the hole in between the rocks is why the dirt, the sand gonna fail. You see what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing? So the sand fell between, they call it void. So the sand fell in between the rocks. So when it fell the void, okay, but you have to be specific. What size rock you want to use. So after that is done, when you compact it, the sand that the core sand that is in there will now find a way more into other areas of the rock that is not being touched because you're pressing it down. And here's the interesting thing that you're doing when you compact it. You're now, because remember now, what I told you about soil particle, I didn't go deep into it, and I'm not going to go deep, but what I want you to remember about soil particle, that it can align themselves. Soil have positive and negative as well. So, but when they align themselves, they can't be broken very easily. Think about it. Those of us that are from the countryside, those days when I was with my grandma, I don't know about you, but I know people used to face the dirt. They take dirt and form it into a bed. But they don't just form it into a bed. They take these stakes, they smooth the part they're gonna really beat the dirt with. They put these people are just smart engineers. Yeah. Our country people are too smart. But we didn't know these things. That's saw my grandma doing those things. And say, they were more wasting her time. What kind of business there? But here's what she was doing. She would take the dirt, sprinkle water on it, and take that stake and go boom, 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 all over. Then she will take the dirt up to the size she wants. You know what she's doing? It's a dirt that she took from somewhere, disturbed this particle of that dirt. When she took it from that area, because when God made it, God gave it that particle to stay together. Now you're digging it up, taking it, you spray it all over now. They all chakra. The particle now all chakra. But when she brought it together and she was beating it, she was forcing them to get back together. Yes. You don't have to be an engineer. You just need to be smart of what you're doing. Especially when it comes to road business and construction. So when she did that, it's just a matter of drying. The particle will hold together. And when they dry, no crack coming through because she already forced those soil particles to hold together. No crack coming through. You haven't seen that before? I'm from Grand Gita. Maybe other places they don't have it. Okay? That's what compaction does. So when you compact the dirt, you're forcing the dirt, the soil, you're forcing those smaller particles to go into the crevices of all the rocks to fill them in. And when it's done properly, the gravel road can last longer than some of the roads they build on Doe community. The gravel road, if you do it correctly, you don't need every road in Liberia to be paved. This is the misconception that our people have. As a result, people continue to fool us. Oh, we're going to pave your road. Oh, it takes $1 million to pave 1 mile. Who said we need paved road? Must the road be paved before you fix it? Must the road be paved before our people move around? Why is that? Why is that? That these highly educated people, you don't have to have an engineering degree to know what I'm talking about. These people can, and nowadays, you can sit any part of the world and be able to just Google, and you have the kind of information you're looking for. And every year, what kind of people are these? What kinds of people are those of us from the Southeast? You mean we don't have no kahuna? No, I don't believe that. Southeastern, they're very peaceful. But I remember Southeastern, Southtown War. Have you read about it? People from Southeastern, people don't push them around that much. That's why they always say people from outside, they got high. Oh, crewman got high. Oh, the other one got high. Because they're not that they want to ready to get in the town or get in your community and start fighting. No. But you will not fool around them and try to push them around. They will push back. But that's why we come to that thing and we're not doing nothing. You don't have to go and burn anything down. You don't have to go and attack anybody. You don't have to go and be violent. Take a piece of paper and present it to your government about the role in the Southeastern end. Southeasterners, they pay taxes just like the people in Mossorado County. Everybody in Liberia, everyone pay. When George Weah, Dr. Weah, when you go out of country to go borrow money or to beg for money, he begged them, everybody need, not Mossorado County or not CDC. Why are we suffering? For what reason? For what reason? And when you offer your help, then sometimes they don't even want to pay attention to you. And this is not the first time. I will name names. I talked to Sir Joseph, offer my help, nothing coming. I've talked to Church of Grand, nothing coming from Grand Jide. Okay, I talked with the late Minister Mambutu. Well, I didn't talk to him, but he knows I was willing. I wanted to talk to him. He didn't want to talk to me. Smith Toby can be my witness. You know who Smith Toby is? The press secretary of the president. If I lie, Dennis Yah, the man who got focused on Liberia, he can be my witness. If I lie, Smith Toby can attest to that. Nobody, they don't want to talk. I talked with the superintendent of Grand Jide County to offer my help. Nobody wants. For some reason, they think I want money. Yeah, I want money. I agree that too myself. Just like every one of them, myself, I want money too. But this is not the time. Many of us Liberians that are here in the diaspora will be willing to do just about anything to move that country forward. Those of you that are here have in these different disciplines, if they ask you right now to come and do something that will improve the life of your brothers and sisters, the first thing that will come to mind, yeah, I don't mind doing that before money even comes in. How many of you listening to me right now that you see something, you don't even have to be in the classroom, but you see something outside and that thing is so simple but very good for people? How many of you have not tried to take that in your mind to say, I wish I can take this thing to Liberia? You never one day will say, I wish I can take this thing to my village in Liberia. You will say, I want to take it to Liberia. If God will give you the opportunity, you will take it to Liberia. That's how much love we have for that country. But the leadership, for some reason, they think we're here, especially if you're not in their clique, if you're not part of their political party, they don't even want to talk to you. And I'd be damned with what I know about engineering and construction. 5 cents, I will not get anybody for a job. 5 cents, I will not get anybody for a job. 1 cent, 5 cents said too much. 1 cent, I will not give you. Once I'm giving you what I've learned. You didn't pay my school fee. But of course, I paid my school fee at one time anyway. And I don't know anything. Not only school fee. You know how long it took me to get my whatever paper stuff, whatever they call them, degree or whatever. I don't even believe in them anyway. But that's not the point. Why must I give you money to do what I know how to do? The only time I will pay you if I want position in area that I have no experience in. And I just want to be there because I want people to look at me. Yeah, I will pay you. Because I don't know anything in that area, so I will pay you. But for me, if I'm doing engineering, if I'm doing construction, fasten, halaba see that you're not gonna get nothing from me. So that one you're waiting for, you consider something to ain't got money for anybody. But if you need my help, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that. The Sophie ice cream roll, right there by there's a hospital. What is it? Catholic Hospital. They have a roll where what I believe the vice president live in that area. You know, who designed that roll? Moi. And the sad thing is, on a very serious note, I did a serious design. It took me some time. I invested time in that. And I made sure I put in place all of the safety aspect of any good design you will have. These people went over and built it. I got a video here. LPR manager over there in Liberia did a video for me and sent it to me. I lifted the roll, but I provided drainage so that the people that are low, no water going in their yard. You know what the people did? They even put a pipe or drainage, anything. They just paved the road. They even lift it up. They put it down, pave the road, and pave it into the people's yard. So when it rains, the water comes from the street, it goes into the people's yard. Why would you treat our people like that? When I give you the profile of the road, and you deviated from that, you didn't follow the design. Now when it rains on those people who got the land, who got our property, the water going in their yard now. Because I can see from the video that you can see it, definitely the water going in their yard. Because the water going like this and going where else go? They go like this and go in the pure yard. The one that remaining go down. But those are the kinds of stuff we're talking about. So I find myself sometimes very, very disheartening of what is happening back home, to be honest with you. I find myself very much troubled to say, why is it that we're going through these kinds of stuff? For what reason? For what reason? Okay. So I just show you my fixes, and that's the fix that I have in mind if I was to be asked. But of course, I was going to be on the ground. And not only that, yes, one other thing, I wasn't going to leave it to them. I was going to do the survey myself. And I take the survey information, the dollar that I was going to collect from that. I would take it and put it in my design software, and come out with a true fix. But the question that I have for myself is, even if you fix those things now, are they going to maintain it? They're talking about building, go right now, Maria Kakata Highway. Are they maintaining those areas? Some of the dishes they have over there. Erosion all over the place. You know, so this is something that sometimes cause some serious problem. But anyway, let me go ahead and open the line. And okay, all right, we'll do so. But anyhow, let me go ahead and open the line, folks. And if you have question, you don't have to be an engineer. If you have question, just go ahead and ask a question, and we will take that into consideration and answer if we can. Yeah, the thing you need to know. My hating thing you more. You hating thing more. So if I say I don't know it. Why would you do me? Where I want to care me? Where I want to care me? You think I got shame? Look at the face, you guys. It's shining like the other. It's like somebody who got shame face. Big yeah. So if I don't know it, I'll say I don't know it. I know it. Don't worry about anything. But folks know on a very serious. That's my number. Give me a call here and ask a question. Okay. Mr. So will be back here on Sunday. And obviously, he's going to be here with a guest. I hope to be part of that conversation because, as usual, I am the liberal. The liberal. I look at him from a broad perspective, whereas Mr. So is a conservative. And so I am here as a counterweight. Another thing I want to make an announcement. Also, we want to say congratulations to the professor, one of the LPR analysts, Mr. Zagulo, who's been appointed to be, I think, the superintendent of Montreal City Corporation School, or whatever they call it, MCSS or MSS, whatever they call it. It's been a long time, a long time. So, but he I hope they challenge but he's a very smart guy. He's a hard worker, and I'm sure he will do well. He will do well. So, Professor, today I will now call you CDC Professor because you're not CDC Professor today. Today you're teaching our children, so we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, folks, that's my number over there. Give me a call. It's Friday afternoon. And I just no, but on a very serious note, these are common fix. They're not that difficult to do. But here's the thing here now. Here's the thing. You have one of the major highway in Liberia that go to the southeast. When was the last time they have a serious bridge inspection work going on the Sesto River Bridge? Think about it. If that bridge goes down, what do you think gonna happen? That means the entire southeast from this side, Nima County, Grand Gila River G, and everything else gonna go down. So today holiday you coming? Man, I beg you, man, you found something to do, man. They man from Toton. What you think I'm gonna do? Wait, let me see what he said. So how come I'm not on the picture? Oh, I'm on the picture. Ah! The three African of Caltrain. I'm on the picture. I love it. Thank you, Rabo. We appreciate it. That's Mugabe, Rabo Mugabe. He's Congolese. I have a Nigerian young man, and I have a Congolese young man, and I'm from Liberia, of course. But all three of us will work together. The Nigerian guy, young man, young to be, I old enough to be his father, but he's the boss now, and the Congolese, he's up there too. So, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. Bloku is everywhere. Bloku is everywhere. Everybody want Bloku. No, folks. Seriously, I'm not boasting when I talk about these things. I'm not, because yes, the thing here. Let me tell you, those of you, the young people among us here, in anything you do, especially here in the United States, as an African American or as an African Black person, when you're given a responsibility, do it to the best. And even beyond that, eventually it's going to pay it off. Eventually it's going to pay it off, to be honest with you. So when I started Caltrain about 21 years or so ago, I came over here in Sacramento. I was living in the Bay Area. I moved over here in Sacramento. Things were not that great, but there was the software at that time. I believe it was AutoCAD 9 or something like that, way back then. So they were not doing AutoCAD. They had another program called KC, okay, which was another civil engineering design tool for roadway. Well, when I came here, I was in structure. In fact, I worked in structure, steel structure design, building structure design over there in San Francisco. But I didn't. It wasn't challenging much. It was difficult. Don't get me wrong, but it was from here straight down. You know what I'm saying? It's the connection, the weight. you know, the distribution, moment distribution, you know, not total. So, but when I found this job, it's like an act work. Even though it's precise, but I can decide right now. I say I want to put an alignment here, and I can follow my lead by putting that alignment and try to follow everything else based on the blackboard design criteria. Whereas in structure, if a bridge have to be down, all of the criteria you have to follow. You can't cut corner here and there. In roadway, you don't cut corners, but you come up with your own creativity, ideas, something that will get you moving. But anyhow, when I started 20 some odd years ago, before that, I used to have my own construction company in Ohio. When I graduated college, immediately I went straight into construction. And I had a construction company, minority-owned construction company. So I used to be like a supplier, pipe supplier here and there for the big company, $1 million company, thing like that. So I'll be lucky if they give me 2,000-3,000. What you'd say, you blind man, you got power. I beg you, man. So when they decided to do away with the minority contracting business, I don't have that kind of money to be able to compete with the big boys, but I have my design knowledge. So I said, I'm going to forget it, forget construction. I'm going to go. But I have already spent years in construction as an engineer. So I was able to do construction for a very long time, very long time. I started with, how do you call it, Stark County engineers as a surveyor. I did property survey here in the United States. I did a lot of property survey. We also used to do section survey over there in Ohio. This, until I get your call, I'm just giving you guys a story now. This has nothing to do with LIBERIA. But over there in Ohio, they have section line, okay? 26 miles square, 26 square miles, okay? So they have these section line. But in the days, in the 1800s, when they put this section line together, they didn't put stakes, or I mean, not stake, but pipe or steel. So they used to use sandstone. So the big sandstone, maybe about a foot and a half by 2 feet, something like that. Then they put X on them, they mark X, okay, and then they put it right to where the section is, okay. So this other X here means this is a straight line. This other X here means this is this line. So they got section corners every 26 square miles, something like that. So in Stark County, when the people start, the farmers, they come and plow the land. So they would take the sandstone up. Oh, I found the section corner. Oh my goodness. Then you go 5 feet into other people's land. Then you start using the people's land. The man can't find, oh, I found the land. Then you go 10 feet into the other person's land. And then they will call me at that time to go and resurvey the whole land to be able to set the section corner. Then I go and trace first I go to the courthouse and do deep research. For Samson too, it's not small, somebody you can just wrap your finger around. I beg you. I go to the courthouse and do deep research from the 1800s. And that's one thing about these people, they keep records. They keep records. And in the deep research from the 1800s, they'll tell you who did what, who were holding the rod, what kinds of chain they used, what day, what temperature was it at that time, and the temperature variation of the, because the steel chain, if it hot, it expand, if it cold, contract. So all of those, they have calculation for those you got to follow. So then I go do my research. When I come back, then I go out in the field and use the EDM, distant measurement. I use the EDM to put this stuff back on, and I'll put it up. And sometimes the farmer might not like it. So one time, I from town, went way in the people's stuff. The man got very took gun. I say, if you see me here again, I'm change my name. What I do, they'll pay me. I'm not coming back. So I went to the office. I said, I'm not going back there. The guy said, why? I said, the guy put it. He said, we'll take the state trooper. I said, I'm not going. Let's take your guy, another person. That's it. I was done. But anyway, so I did all of that. I did survey, and that's why I'm so, to be honest with you, I'm so handy I'm not going to say I'm good. I'm so handy when it comes to the engineering business. Because engineering basics of, especially roadway, basics of that is survey. And I have vast knowledge of surveying. So I am quite equipped. So anyhow, when I started with Caltrain, I decided if I want to do this, and I want to do for people to say, Samson, can you do this for me? Can you work for me? Can you do this? I have to be good. So they have the other software program called Casey. And it's a very, very brutal software program. If you learn Casey today and you stop in 2 months, you come back, you're going to start all over. That's how it doesn't forget. I used to sleep at work. Learning that. And then when Total Man got hold of that program, that I became KC expert. Yes. That sounds into what you would do to me. I'm not cool. You can't do nothing. So I used to tell people, I gotta work. You start fooling over, I tell you, what you do to me? Nothing. You need me. You need me, don't you? The kind of chip that used to be on my shoulder. So right now I have a repetition, which is I don't like. And if there anybody new person, that sounds into, yeah, please, you be careful. I don't like that. I'm old now. You can say whatever you want to say about me, it don't matter to me. But those days, if I do a job and I know I'm right, and you're going to question me, you better do it professionally. Because if not, I total you, I all over you from total. I don't get time. But to the young people, I want to say this: if this is your area, if you're going to go into engineering, do it to the best of your ability. When I first started engineering school, I have no clue, none whatsoever. But because I wanted to do well in the calculations, in movement diagrams, in shared and movement diagrams, I wanted to make sure that I do it well. The first time the professor, not the professor, but the counselor told me, why do you want to do engineering? Why can't you just go into criminal justice? Well, I've already tried criminal justice. And it was just, I'm not putting criminal justice down, but it was not too challenging as far as I was concerned. I didn't love, reading the Constitution and all that. Please, I want to read Constitution. I can't go to I can't read American Constitution. That's why I for. That's why we eat a big year. So I told him, no, I don't want. That's not what I want. So he said, engineering is not as easy. I said, I will try. So I got in there. Interestingly, this story I've told you guys before, and I'm going to say again. Interestingly, the head professor of the Department of Engineering at the school, Mr. Rosson, he took on me. He seemed to like me because I was working hard. I have not had any kind of construction experience before. I have no clue if you're doing asphalt, burning the asphalt, what is the flash burn? I have no clue, none whatsoever. But I was with them. So when we go to the lab to do concrete breaking with the fracture point of the concrete, to do steel, the fracture point of the steel, at what degree it is, how long the elongation, all that. I was in there. I was there with them. So the guy said, okay, well, they guy might be a little bit different. So the white boys, they started treating me bad. When we go out in the field to do survey, they won't let me run this instrument. All they want me to do is just run the rod. So when we come back, he question on the board about instrument, and I'll tell you, I have no clue. So one day he got upset with it. He said, Samson told going, because at that time many people had dropped. There were just few of us there. So we went to the class. The guy told him, he said, I'm going to give a test. If Samson don't pass the test, all of you guys flunk. And they thought he was joking. So he gave the test. He gave a studious test. And this test, up to today, you bring it to me, I will knock it down. It's a traverse in survey where you go point, you take an angle, you go point, you take an angle, you go point, you take a bike side, you go point, you take an angle until you can connect it. But If you go with these points and you try to connect the traverse, you make sure the correction must come out. So say, for example, let me just give you one example. So you go northeast, 5 degrees, 10 minutes, whatever second, northeast. Then from that point, you're going to go, say, 30 degrees, some minute, southeast. So southeast, southeast. Listen now, you're here. Southeast is down here. You see what I'm saying? So you got to now, so that means there's a point here now that comes like this. Oh, Samson too. I'm enjoying myself, folks. Yeah, just take me back to classic, but I'll do my best. But anyway, so he asked his question. I couldn't do Travis. So I flung. Everybody flung. So he said, y'all go back out until Samson started doing the instrument. And his fool decided they're going to let me run the instrument. I started running the instrument. At that point, I can set my instrument down here and measure the height, the higher point in Canton, by just sighting that. And I can tell you how high that building and the higher point and the church depot is. Yeah, no big deal. So anyhow, the guy, when we were about to graduate, when we got in a senior position or what have you, I did my presentation and everything. And he always said to me, I will help you if you promise. Folks, this is the reason why I have always offered my help to Liberia and the people of Liberia. He told me, if you're willing, after graduation, if you're going to go back home to help your people. And I said, yes, I will. That was before the war, of course. No, it was after the war. It was after the war. He used to smoke and drink. In fact, one other story I'm going to tell you. Before the test, Samson told you're good. One night before the test, we went to a Gießen bar. It's a nightclub, German nightclub. Started drinking. Everybody was drinking. The professor, everybody. So I asked him, and we had test that night. I asked him what the test about. He said, you want to know? I said, yeah. They used to have buffalo wing. So he took the bone from the buffalo wing, dipped it in the sauce on the napkin, and drew the exact problem we were going to do. He loaded, but the loading condition was different. But the problem was the same. So he gave it to me. He said, this is the test. So all the children there, oh, Samson, you're so stupid. You think the man will get you test, the test you're going to get, that why you going to get you? I said, I'm leaving. So I left the drinking club. I went back on campus. 20 minutes later, all the Bonuan then they show up. All the Bonuan then they show up. They're ready for a test. The man came and gave the test. Exact. The numbers was different. But by the time they came, I've already, because it's an open test, I've already studied all of the we call it Medusa. There was a huge problem-solving issue. But at the end, all of your calculation must be zero at the end result. Because if you have anything left over, that building is going to fall. So they give the test. Samson to open my stud. I was done within an hour and a half. I was done. Give it to him. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah. He said, you want me graded now? I said, yeah. So all these one then they're sitting down. They now drop their thing, they're looking up. Because, you know, in engineering school, it's just like family. Everybody, just like family. After you guys stay together for a while, just like family. So everybody was looking. He goes like this. Meta okay. That's okay. Meta okay. He went down. And guess what? I got 98. I got to the door. Yeah. Yes. They started cussing me. I left. None of them came up to 50 something. So we went to school the next day. The teacher said, oh, they wanted they wanted them to scale the grade. The teacher said, you'll talk to Samson if you agree. I said, no, I agree. The other guy, they called Chuck. He said, Samson. He's from big guy, he used to play football. Samson, if you were free, if you just refuse for this guy to skill, because it's going to affect our grades and graduation, I'm going to make sure I send you back to Africa in a box. I said, go ahead and send me in the box. I'm not doing it. At that time, I was speaking real crude English now, from Nukuta. I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not changing nothing. Yeah, you all say, oh, we'll see. So, of course, we agree. He had to skill it, and we all passed the test, of course. But anyhow, when we finished, he had a massive heart attack, and he stopped smoking for a while. He came back to school, and he and I had that conversation. To call him Rossin, he and I have that conversation again. And he told me, whatever it is, you got to help people back home. You can't just learn this thing and leave it like that. And I say, yes, I will. If you can just hold on till I graduate. True story. A month after graduation, he died. This is what behind me calling you. I don't got nothing to do but to call people. I want to help. I want to help. I want to help. But when you say something, you're going to have to keep up with it. And just by me getting that opportunity to do that one role in Cadillac Hospital, I think I'm certified. So once again, to the young people among us, if you're in this engineering business, it's a good business. It's hard work from the beginning. It's hard work. It's nothing you can sneeze at. But you just have to commit yourself. It came a time when my mom and my dad came here. I was still in school, of course. Whole semester, I would not sweep the room where I'm living, all junk. And when the semester ends, then I clean the place because you don't have time. You're in the library. You're on project. And at that time, we were doing what they call concrete. The guy, real canoe people can ride. I can make concrete. I can make concrete canoe because I still have all my calculations here. And so, as a captain of the concrete canoe, I have to be at the top of this thing. So it was very serious business. So I just thought that I'd give you guys this story here tonight as I'm wrapping up. I want to thank all of you again tonight, those of you that follow. And perhaps the story is boring, that's okay. But once again, to the young people that want to doing this engineering situation, it's a rewarding program. Once you're done and you're successful at it, the first thing, those of you that are senior now or junior, as soon as you get into senior class, go and take what they call EIT, Engineering in Training. That's what you want to take. It's a test, national test all over the United States. So difficult test. They will test you. Your first class when you enter engineering program, test will come from that. The subject matter will come from that. They will test your ability to do differential calculus, type of calculus. They will test you. They will test you to do lighting, how you light the building, how you take the current from outside and put in the building, how do you divide the current. You will go through all of that test. They will test you how to grade a parking lot. They will test you how to do a subdivision development. How do you come about it? What do you do? But it's nothing you can't make. You pass that test, then you go on to do the PE test. But when you finish, the money you will make, except you something to don't make, because if I say I made money, my sister will be calling me. Except I something to don't make nothing, I make fasting. I stay here begging people for fasting, but God been blessing me anyway. So, but for my sister, I'm broke. But anything else, I thank God. No, but very seriously, when you're done with that program, when you're done with that program, it's rewarding. Just imagine you do a road design and you go on the project when the road is done. Because of your ability to come up with these kinds of design, people are driving on it and nobody's getting killed, nobody's getting hurt because of the safety aspect you put on it. Sometimes I drive around here, I see some of the guardrail that I put up smashed out. That person survived, was not able to go up on the cliff because of the retaining wall that I put in there. So all of those things, they are rewarding. And this is what I want to offer my brothers and sisters back home. But I'm not going to, I will continue to ask. I will continue to ask. So if anybody wants, if they one day they think that I can help, I will. And then when you go to the second degree, it's all baby then. You're done with everything else. The second degree, that one, but you can sit down there and smoke your pipe now. You got that you yourself, you become a professor anyway. And when you get your second degree part ain't nothing engineering. You don't even use it. The first thing, don't let anybody fool you about being a second degree holder in engineering. They don't do nothing with that. They don't use it. The only thing you get money from if you get a license. You get a license, you can be PhDs. We have a guy for PhD engineer here that was not doing anything until he got his license. So I want to find anything. Okay. So if this is something, somebody saying something. I have two boys. My two boys are in 11th grade. So how do I start them? Well, first thing, you're going to have them have interest in math, because believe it or not, and math is not that difficult. It's not that difficult. It's just a concept. It's just a concept. How do you put things together? Okay. Take for example. Now, then I will write it down. So you say, and this is just something I'm going to write down. So you parenthesis x plus 1 times another parenthesis x plus 2. Okay. And this is just something here. So I'll take the first parenthesis. Now, I can't do it here because you can't see me. So I'll just be showing my hand now. And sister, I mean, James, I'm sorry. So I just want your kids and there's there are a lot of websites you can go to get involved in the math. So let's just take this. And if you do this with your son or daughter, they will find it. First of all, it's going to be amazing to them. How did you do that? Like I do with my little daughter now. She's up there now. So you come out, it's okay. X times X, X times X. So because that X now, no number. So X times X, it raised up. So it's X squared. Plus X times the 2 over here. So it's now become 2X because it's a number and note and variable. So you come back into the first one, you say 1 times the X, because that you're adding them up. 1 times the X here. So it's just X. It's on no number behind it, understood to be X. So you put it on here, that X. So 1 times 2 is now 2, right? So if you add them up, you have X squared plus 3X plus 2. And when I did that to my son, he couldn't believe it. How did you get that? Because they gave him a problem, but they didn't ask him to break it down. They gave him X squared plus 3X plus 2. So he has to reverse that to see why they say this is the answer. How do we come out to the answer? So when I look at it, I knew what it was, but I didn't want to tell him this is how you get it. So I just want to blow his mind a little bit, and then he'll say, oh, how did you do that? So I broke it down. When I did that, he said, wow, did you do that? So he but that's some of the things you do to interest your kids in math. And then another thing you want to interest your kids in is in engineering. Well, they have different discipline of engineering. You can go and become a mechanical engineer. Richard Bando, another young man from my area, big mouth, but he's a mechanical engineer. Okay, and you can go and become a structure engineer. Okay, however, the only people that split up after maybe 1 or 2 years is the mechanical. They go their way, we go our way. Electrical, we're not even together. Uh, we're not together. They're on their side, we're on our side. Okay, so you can do electrical engineering, you can do mechanical engineering, you can do chemical engineering. Those are 5 different stuff. So there's just a lot of engineering discipline. Okay, but the idea here is that even in chemical engineering, which is one of the tough things, you have to do calculations as well. Okay, you have to do calculations as well because the chemical stuff to put them together, you have to find, and I'm feeling forgetting most of it, but you have to find I'll call it, you have the chemical they give you, the bonding or whatever they give you, HO2. What is HO2? What is H4? What is HO2 step? Then you got to break it down. They have a way of breaking it down in numbers. Okay. If you're doing combining in chemical, if you're combining those things, you have HO2, CO2, but they have, when you put them together, they have a name, which I don't know much about it anymore. But in engineering, civil engineering, you gotta do all of those things. You gotta do all of those things because it all comes to play. But it's very interesting if you have kids that have interest in it. First of all, introduce them to math, and once they get hold of math, they will enjoy it. They will enjoy it, truly enjoy it. But it's not much. No, I didn't do organic chemistry. I just did chemistry, the first 1 or 2, just to make my engineering classes. That's all. I didn't go into detail. And I can't find my book here, and I was going to tell you what chemistry. I did chemistry, but I didn't go into where you're going to be a. It's one of those classes that I was there and thinking about my grandma. All I want to get my 2 point. Hey, I don't care where I just want my 2 point, and that was it. So I did that and passed that. One other thing I want to tell you, since we're on this school business here. So 2 things. The first one, I was just tired about school business. I want out. So this one other class, you have to have these elective. So I pick up this one class, logic. Okay, in math they have logic, and in I call it, what's the other psych class, psychology they have logic. And so I decided to be part of my elective. I'm going to take the psych class logic. Wrong. Samson told I've never been wrong like that before. I saw that when I opened the book, Introduction to Logic, I saw these math calculation. They put a lobe together, you put a circle together. If this is that, this is not what 2 + 2, whatever. I said, oh, I'm already done the higher calculus business in the business. I'm done with the class. I will blow it through, man. I pick it up. The first class we went in, the very first one, these young people coming in, the sneaker they wear, their toe coming shooting out of the sneaker. Their chin here, you see them selling a bag. I said, what kind of class I can't take? What kind of young people here? So, but boy, oh boy, when the children open their mouth to lecture, you would think said they have PhD. So I started looking. The first day I said, I must be in the wrong place. So we went, I stay with them. Quiz. If all cat are dog is what? I said, what? If all how are you gonna have all cat are dog is what? all the kinds of questions. After the first test, I went straight to the teacher. I pulled one of the total trick on him, which was true. I told the man, I said, look, this thing I took it as an elective. All the stuff you're doing here is side class, all that kind of thing. That's not what I'm here for. I have to pass this class to graduate. But from what I'm looking at, this is not my thing. This is not what I want to do. So he looked at me. He said, I knew very first day you enter, I knew, because when I ask questions, the thing you say doesn't even make sense to me. But I wasn't going to push you out. But here's what you need to do, Mr. Tu. I said, what is that? He said, why don't you write a paper about your 2 weeks experience here? And if I like the paper, and if it's explained well about introduction to logic, I will let you go. So I was forced to write a paper. I wrote a paper, and I blocked my way through that one. I praised them. You're so good. This is one of the best ever. Blah blah blah. They say okay. So I was out of there. Another one was, and then I'll be after this year. I'm gonna be going, folks. Another one was another elective that I had was to do shooting. So the shooting, I just wanted, it was combined shooting and swimming. At that time, I used to play serial football. So I broke my knee. I have an ACL. So after the operation, I had to go swimming to strengthen my knee up. So when I went back and started doing it, so I was doing swimming and shooting at the same time. And then guess what? I got involved in the shooting business. Guess who the people that keep coming on campus? NRA, the people, the conservatives wing of the conservative wing, coming to talk to me liberal. But in the entire engineering program, I was the only liberal in the class anyway. At that time, let me tell you the year, maybe you will know. Bill Clinton has a serious issue with Monica Lewinsky business. The people, they children couldn't let me hear anything. But anyway, we have the lecture. The NRA guy coming to lecture us, talk about gun. He can't bring Bill Clinton in business up. I don't play with him. They just told me, because they know that shooting, you can't get vest. You get vest, they say, oh, the man get vest, something will happen. The man told me, anytime when they gave me the gun, he said, Mr. Toad, just stay there, face that side. He gave me the gun. And when they give you the gun, they come and give you the ammunition. Once you have that ammunition gun, you don't turn around. You turn around, you walk out, you're done. You're not doing nothing else. You turn around, they give you the ammunition. In fact, when you hold a gun like this, then you put your hand behind you, you put the ammunition on. You're not even turning your face. You put the gun, you put the ammunition in the gun, and then you do your shooting. And that was the last time. Anyway, passed. It was what one credit. So what? But I was done, and it was fun memory. Youngstown State University over there in Ohio. Youngstown State University. Go over here. You'll find my name on in the paper. But anyhow, let me get out of here, folks. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time. Those of you that are in school, please do your best to get out if you can. It's very interesting. And when you're done, you will enjoy. Enjoyment. Yo. A day. But it's a serious, serious, serious issue, especially those of us from the countryside in Liberia. And you have no relatives here. Even if you have relatives, and you have to work. I was doing engineering school, married with 2 kids, working 2 jobs. But I wasn't going to give up because I knew that at the end, with that whatever degree that I'm going to get, I knew it's going to benefit me. There were so many times that I thought to myself, why am I wasting my time? But what happened to me, this is the last lecture, then I'll go. What happened? In life, there's so many things. When I first got here, I collected my school fee money. My brother had paid my school fee, working on school, football business. I collected my school fee. I bought my car. I was all over the East Coast playing football. I was school. Who cared for school? But anyhow, the one that really turned me on to that, I went to Rhode Island. I used to stay in Rhode Island. The pastor would say they drove you out of there. They drove me out of Rhode Island. That was no true. But anyway, I was in Rhode Island. So I was working for this factory. They make rubber tires. They bring the rubber bales from Firestone. True story. Firestone, like Grow Firestone. They come and put them. I was working in a bakery where you take the rubber bale and put it in the bakery and then mash the rubber bale and you put some chemical in it and then mash them up. And then you got certain time to take the bakery and drop it onto the rollers. And you run around. And as the rubber roll on the roller, you have your knife on your waist. You can boom, and you hold the stuff and it roll it down and it get back on it. And you do that several times to actually match them up. And then you put it in there, screw it. One person, you have 3 machines. So by the time I get out in the morning, they pay you $1 an hour just for you to take shower because you're not going to get out of the place just like that. It was so filthy. It was unbelievable. So by the time you get out, you're going straight to sleep and you will sleep the whole day. I won't let football business. I wasn't even able to practice. I look at it, I said, oh, maybe it's a shift. So I told the guy, I want to go second shift. From morning shift to second shift, same thing. What kind of thing is it? I was making good money. I was making good money. I think they were paying me like $19 or $20 an hour. I was making good money. A weekend or money there. But the job, but I wasn't able to do anything. I wanted to go to school. I can't. So second shift, same thing. Nothing. Okay, let me go to third shift. I don't have to do anything. Same thing. One afternoon, got up for work. Supposed to be going to work. One afternoon, I just looked in the blue sky. Packed the essential thing from my room in my car. I told my cousin Louis, I called him, I'm out of here. I called Harrison, I'm out of here. Got in the car, it was snowing. Got in the car, went to Ohio. That was it. Because I couldn't do that kind of job. And one of the things I thought to myself, even as strong as I was at the time, can I do this thing at age 40 or 50? Can I do this kinds of hard labor at that time when I get certain age? And I figured, no, I can't do that. Okay, what am I going to do when I get to 40? I need something where I can use my hand, but at the same time use my brain and don't have to do much. And therefore, the issue of engineering came about. And right now, it's all mouse. That's all that I have to lift, nothing else. Okay? So, folks, I want to thank all of you again tonight. It's been a wonderful, at least you know about Blaku a little bit. And so when you meet me out there, I want to come on this platform and open my mouth. I've been around. And I'm still around. I'm going to be around for a while. If Alfonso want me to retire, I told him, no, I'm not going to retire. I'm going to be our LPR for a very long time. You can't force me out. What you do? You force me out. You can't force me out. So, but anyhow, I want to thank all of you. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday yesterday. And happy holiday to all of you. And please stay safe. It's very important that we stay safe so that we can come out here and have these kinds of conversations. All right? And when we do these things, when we come out here, and especially when I'm talking about engineering, when you hear me say I'm not taking backseat to nobody on engineering, I think I've done my part. And I think I deserve not to take backseat to nobody. Okay? I want to thank all of you. And Mr. So will be here on Sunday, and I'll be here. I hope to be here with him as well. And let's continue to pray for one another. And most importantly, let's pray for our country. There are many, many young Liberians that are talented, intellectually talented. and they can help us. They can help us. But we need the leadership back home to open the door for the young people to come in. You can't do it. You can't do it by yourself. You're going to need the expertise from the young people. They're very smart. Look how many young Liberians that are nurses, registered nurses, nurse practitioners, medical doctors. You think all of them, they just here say they're working because of money business. Sometimes they want to do what they can to help their own people. But the opportunity must be there. You must open the corridor for these young people to utilize themselves. Open a program. Some of the young people are making what, $200,000-$300,000 a year. You think they want your $2,000 a month? But if you open a corridor and tell these young people, please, we need you. Come here for 2 months and help us establish these kinds of X, Y, and Z for our people. They will be willing to do so. But people running around with shooting each other. And you want these young people that struggle so hard to go to school. And they're done. You want them to come over there and put their life in jeopardy in Liberia because they want to help. That is unacceptable, and that is unfair. They want to help, but they don't want to help in that kind of environment. So we can do better than that. With that, this is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio, Block Cool, that is. You ain't feeling my mom, I ain't feeling your mom, and I say good night to all of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, and have a very beautiful, beautiful weekend. Good night, folks. Samson Toll.
Mera Guajane, Guarabine, Japea Quenye, Draman, Beman, Guajane, Guarella, Japea Quenye, Draman, Bung bring a Guajane, Guaraju, Jalapena, Draman, Africa, Ewe, Dagan, Naedwa, Dagan, Naedwa, Naurata Bird. You found out the way that the brother the woman around me. Yamoja, my Mugwa. If I would be like, if I would for a better, if I would only lie, if I would for a better. The man way I did, the man in a body, and then a body, Brother,